Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining this session as part of National Apprenticeship Week, brought to you by Career Map. And I'm Eloise, I'm from Career Map, and it is a pleasure to be here with all of you. I can see so many of you in the chat already saying hi. So hello, good afternoon. And there will be questions in the chat, someone answering the questions for you in the chat if you want to drop your questions in as we go. And you can also use that little Q&A function at the top if you want to. Just to let you know, this will be recorded. So if you do need to come back to the slides, or if you want to grab like an email address or anything, this session will be recorded. You will be able to look back at it. If you registered for the session, you should get an email afterwards with the link to the recording. But otherwise, you can check back on the Career Map website. And what else? If there are any technical issues, drop them in the chat. If you can't see us, you can't hear us, drop them in the chat. And questions and recording. And other than that, I think I'm going to hand over to the team to start the presentation. And I hope you'll really enjoy it. Okay, are you guys, is the QA team there? I think we might just wait a second to see if...
Can you hear me now?
Yep, can hear you.
Oh, perfect, brilliant. I was talking to myself for a couple of seconds there. But good afternoon, everybody. My name is Radhika. I am the recruitment manager here at QA. And great to have you all on board. Great to see such numbers on the screen, so which is great. So let's get started. I'm not quite sure how many of you are aware of who QA are. So we're the UK's leading tech skills training provider. We deal with anything to do with IT, software, data, you know, all that kind of sort of apprenticeships that you are able to go into. So we work with everybody from apprentices to even business leaders, trying to help them develop their digital skills and the capabilities. So apprenticeships are always known as, you know, school leavers want to go into an apprenticeship, but it's not just school leavers. We look at, you know, candidates that want to become an apprentice who want to do a career change, anybody that's, you know, finished college, finished university. They're not just for people that are coming out of schools. And also apprenticeships are also for people that are also in businesses that may want to upskill. So we've been included in the top 50 training providers from 2019 to 2020, as well as 2020 to 2021. And we are an Ofsted good provider. So we specialize in tech. So yes, the tech is obviously industry is booming at the moment. We've got high demands of companies that are looking for apprentices to join within the tech industry. And even better news is that there is no one type of tech person. You know, you could be going into a diverse role. The demand in there is huge. You're entering by people whom you might not even expect to. So if anybody is interested, this is probably the way forward. We offer apprenticeships not only from level 3, but also to degree. And that wouldn't just be up to your level 6, that would also go forward for a master's. So that would be your level 7. So anything from a level 3 all the way up to level 7 is what we offer at QA. So if you are looking to go into the digital apprenticeship, you know, we do offer that at QA. You're trained to become a tech consultant, free with QA apprenticeships. You can sign up for one of our free virtual coding sessions as well. And you also are able to go into our tech boot camps, which will give us the necessary skills as well as get you started in your tech career. So what is an apprenticeship and how does it work? So an apprenticeship is literally a modern hands-on way of learning. So if you're a type of person that likes to want to do things rather than being told how to do things, this is the way forward. The great thing with this is, you know, it's a full-time job. You will be working Monday to Friday. You'll be given support from your line manager as well as QA. And the good thing is you get to take home a salary at the end of the month. You'll also have access to all the benefits that the employer offers to their normal employees as well as your annual leave, any pension schemes, any other benefits, like you might have, work from home on Fridays, or there might be a hybrid model. All of those benefits will be given to you as well. 80% of your time will be spent at work. So 20% of the time you'll be doing your apprenticeship work. Our apprenticeships are all done in block sessions, so you won't need to actually have one-day release whereby you go to a college. Because our training sessions are done in block sessions, Monday to Friday you'll be at work, but your employer will give you time to do your apprenticeship work, as well as for you to attend our virtual sessions. So all our virtual sessions where your 20% comes into are done online in a live environment, as if we're on this call today. You will have a tutor who will be literally going through everything. You'll be on the call with other apprentices on the same course as you from different employers, who will then all meet together, where you'll have breakout sessions. You'll get to engage with one another, share your experiences. So it's all done virtual, and it's not like a pre-recorded session either. With that, you'll obviously get your well-recognized qualifications at the end of your sessions, and there will be, modules that you'll need to complete throughout your apprenticeship. So how does it differ from university? So you'll obviously see an earning from the get-go. You'll spend time learning and working. You'll be able to implement the skills. So what we do is a new way of learning. So you'll be able to learn, you'll be able to discover what you're learning, and then you'll be able to apply it into the workforce. So it won't be that you're constantly reading a book or going through modules and then not actually applying it. You will actually be applying the same skills and the knowledge that you're learning on these sessions into your work. And also it'll give you the opportunity to earn a degree through your apprenticeship. So if you wish to progress after your level 3, you can jump straight onto the level 6, which then covers level 4, 5 and 6 integrated into that degree, and it will be a fully fledged degree, and it will be funded by the government. There might be a contribution from your employer, but you will not need to pay a penny towards your degree. So we work with many, many big businesses, as well as small and medium, large companies as well. Some of the big brands that we work with: Royal Mail, Vodafone, British Airways, Specsavers, Barclays, Atos, Fujitsu, Mitsubishi. We work with very large businesses, but again, we do work with smaller businesses as well as medium-sized corporations as well. So if you're still at school or under 16 and want to start an apprenticeship, here's a few things that can prepare you to be able to be successful in undertaking an apprenticeship. So you're able to take some free courses. So if you're an individual that's very keen to go into the tech industry, we would definitely recommend taking up free courses, going onto researching, going onto websites where they provide these free courses within the tech industry. They will really help boost your CV. It will make some of the training courses are 1 day, 2 days, a couple of hours, but these sort of courses are really going to boost your CV. Work on a CV, but I wouldn't say personally, from my personal experience working at QA for the last 8 years, is yes, make a CV, but we will help you. We will support you to make an even better CV. We will have the right sources, right resources to be able to support you to create these strong, outstanding CVs that we can then pitch in front of an employer. And also try and undertake some work experience while you're still looking for an apprenticeship. That would really help. Any voluntary work, charity work, if you're looking to go into the tech industry and you've got, Christmas break off, try and see if you can reach out to your local businesses in the areas and try and ask them for voluntary work, even if it's for a week, a couple of hours. All of these sort of things will definitely help your CV stand out, make it look stronger. You don't just want to be the average individual that's just applying for an apprenticeship that's come out of school. You want to be that outstanding candidate that's got work experience under the belt, that has got some voluntary work. So it's definitely something that is recommended. With us seeing CVs constantly throughout our time at QA, it's something where we can see where employers want to go forward for. They'll take a candidate forward for an interview that definitely has shown their own initiative to go outside the box and to learn. So definitely recommend, if you want to make your CV stand out a little bit, definitely want you to go out and try and get some work experience if possible. I've just seen some messages in there regarding audio. Is the audio okay? Can everybody hear me? Career Map, is my line okay, or is the audio a little bit fuzzy?
Yeah, it's fine for me. So yeah, type in the chat if you're having problems, but it might just be David, if it might just be your device. Maybe try reconnecting from a different device if you can.
Perfect, thank you so much. So our level 3 apprenticeships that we offer at QA vary. So we do Azure Cloud Specialist, we go into Cloud Network Specialist, we also offer Junior Developer, and we also offer Digital Marketer. So for these apprenticeship programs, you would need at least 5 GCSEs, grade C or 4 or above, of which 2 of them, which is your maths and English, can be at a D grade. So just so you're all aware, if you have got a D grade, don't feel as if, oh my God, I can't apply for an apprenticeship because I don't have the grade. You know, everyone wants 5 GCSEs. That's not the case. If you have a D grade or a 3 grade, please do apply. We will support you as a business to get your functional skills. So alongside your apprenticeship, you will also be doing your functional skills, maths or English or both, if you have got a D grade. We do assessments pre you actually starting your job. And once you have that, we will work with you to see whether you need to be able to do your functional skills and what level you are currently working at. And that would be for every single program. It won't just be for a level 3. Even if you've got a degree and you've got a D in your maths and English, you will be required to do them again whilst on program. So the sort of jobs, you know, you can kind of go into would be like an IT infrastructure technician, first line, second line help support, you know, junior programmer, junior developer, social media exec. Those are the sort of roles that you can potentially go into. But I personally would say to you, when you're applying, don't go too much on the title of what the job is. It's more so the apprenticeship that you're actually going forward for. So if you want to go into a junior developer apprenticeship, you know, yes, have a look at the title, but don't dwell on that so much. It's more about what you'll be learning with that employer and what apprenticeship you'll be on. Moving on to my next slide. So we're going to talk about level 4 apprenticeships. So this is just level 4, not the complete degree. This is the one up from the level 3. Now, if you have completed a level 3 qualification at school or college or sixth form, which is a example would be like a BTEC, extended diploma, or an A-level in IT, and now you wish to do an IT program, you don't automatically feel or be eligible for the level 4. The reason being is what you learn in our level 4 would not be the same as what you may have done at school in level 3. So, you know, if you have completed the level 3 already in a similar subject, we would need to make sure that your skills, your knowledge, and your behavior match what we're looking for our programs. If you exceed that, then yes, you will be eligible for the level 4 programs. But if you don't, you will be required to do the level 3. Which only just means, really, to be fair, you will be given all the support, you'll gain the knowledge, you'll learn everything hands-on from that employer who will teach you from the bottom up. So the level 4s would be for those that have either completed an apprenticeship already in the similar field, or if you again have passed on all your skills, behaviours and knowledge and you exceed all that, then we would put you automatically onto the level 4. The level 4 is much harder. So, you know, if you've got prior experience, if you are changing careers and you've got prior experience within IT already, maybe a year or 2, then a level 4 would be perfect for you because you've learnt the foundation. So for a level 4, we offer in DevOps engineer, data analyst, network engineer, cybersecurity engineer, as well as software engineer. So these are the level 4s that we offer, and you could potentially go into a platform engineer, a data scientist, network technician, an information security officer, or even a web developer. So if you are also doing a software engineering apprenticeship, your title could be a web developer, where you would be focusing purely on designing websites. So it does vary title to title. Our degree programs. So this is for anybody that has completed an A-level. Again, you can also go onto our degree programs. They're much harder to, get you on to a degree program, purely because the employer needs to invest a large sum of time on these apprenticeships with you. And it's about getting their commitment as well as getting your own commitment. So level 4 is much easier, where you can go onto the level 4 and then find an employer, or we would find you an employer who would support you with level 5 and 6 if the degree is integrated. So we offer cybersecurity, and we also offer the digital technology. Now, the digital technology also has 4 different pathways that you can actually go down, which would be network engineering, software engineering, IT consultant, and data analyst. So those would be the ones that you could actually go down. And after your apprenticeship, again, you could become an IT project manager or even a systems designer. So for anybody that is currently completing A-levels and wants to go on to the degree, our website has a lot of degrees on them, but again, they are all across the nation. So you might not see something in the south, but that would mean that we actually don't physically have an opportunity there available at this time. But all apprenticeships run throughout the year, so you don't need to wait for a particular month to apply. We also offer a master's degree, which is our digital and technology degree. And again, with this, you could go into the data and analyst pathway, enterprise architecture pathway, cybersecurity, IT ops management, and IT and digital futures as well. So those are the pathways that you can actually go through, but you will need a degree to be able to go on to the master's. So if you're an individual on this call today that is looking on completing a master's degree because you already have a qualification, again, you just need to be made aware. Employers mainly would put people on master's degree that are already working with them. We very rarely do get opportunities out there for an employer who would like to actually recruit an individual to jump straight onto the master's with them. So our apprenticeship entry requirements. So basically you need to be 16 with a valid passport or a birth certificate. We are now able to accept driving licenses as well as a national insurance number. So your driving license needs to be a full UK driving license. You must have lived in the UK or the EEA for the last 3 years prior to starting your apprenticeship. So if you have only just lived in the UK for a year, unfortunately, you would not be eligible for an apprenticeship. It needs to be 3 years consecutively from the time you are here. If you have travelled abroad or have done some travelling for a little while, but you are a UK national, you may still be eligible if you can. We would obviously need to ask you evidence regarding your passport and your parents as well. You must be working in England for at least 50% of the working time. So, there might be some requirements regarding around this, but again, you need to be working in England for at least 50% of the time of your apprenticeship. You cannot be undertaking any apprenticeships or any government-funded qualifications at the same time. So if you are already in an apprenticeship or in college or school, you cannot then start an apprenticeship. You would need to complete and then start. Now, apprenticeships, just so you're aware, run throughout the whole year. It's not just a September intake. We have live vacancies currently as we speak. So if you are interested in doing an apprenticeship immediately, please do apply. But if you're waiting for your college to finish, again, don't wait until September to apply. If your college is finishing in June, I would say apply immediately because those are the core busy periods. Qualifications. So each program we've just gone through varies depending on what you've already got and what you would like to go into. GCSEs would vary based on that. But again, like I mentioned previously, if you do by any chance have a lower grade than a D grade, you will be required to do functional skills, maths and English on program. And there are chances that we can also, if you do have an E grade, do a pre-assessment before to see what level you are currently working at. So your apprenticeship journey with QA, so this is how it would all work. So we would post a vacancy on our website, which would go through to all the different job boards that we work with. You would find the opportunity, click on the details, click on apply now, and fill in all your details. You would be asked to upload a CV, which is optional. You don't have to, as we would not make any judgment on your application based on that. So it's not a must. But if you've got one, I would definitely say upload it. But if you haven't, please don't stress. You can still fill out the application and take your application forward. One of our recruiters will give you a call regarding your application. Once we decide that it's a good match for the vacancy and it's a good fit for what the client is looking for, we will take you through various different stages. So we would do an ID check. So we would ask you to upload your qualifications, as well as your ID, so your passport, national insurance number, as well as right proof of living in the UK. Once we've done that, we would go through a pre-interview with you. Now, this could take anything from 15 to 20 minutes. We'll run through some various questions and go through some apprenticeship information with you. Once we have that, we also would require you to complete a template. So we've got a pre-completed template with loads of questions just to help you build on that strong CV. Once we have received everything back, we would then put you forward for an interview with our clients. Now, again, the more information you can put on your CV, the stronger your CV will stand out. The less information you put on your CV, the more likelihood would be you may not secure yourself an interview, or we may ask you to redo the CV again. Once you've done that and you go forward for an interview, if you are successful, you would be offered a job. So what you can see here is sign up to a free virtual coding courses. So if anybody's interested, you can scan that code now, and that should take you straight to our virtual coding courses online, but I will bring this up shortly. So that is the end of our presentation. So I would just like to say thank you so much for listening. And if anybody has got any questions, if they haven't already been answered in the chat, please write away, or if you would like to speak, feel free to. And I'm just going to quickly go back and leave it on this page, just in case if you would like to scan that code.
Thank you so much. That was really helpful and really comprehensive. I think there are a lot of questions in the chat, a lot of which have been answered already. So maybe going over to the Q&A tab. I don't know if you want to pick any of these out or...
Yeah, sure. I'll start from the bottom up.
Yeah,
Yeah, perfect. I'll start from the bottom up and I'll try and answer as many of those questions if they haven't already been answered. So is there any work from home jobs? Yes, certainly. Some of our apprenticeships are remote, where you will most likely won't even need to go into the office. And if you do, it will only be certain periods amount of time throughout the year. So definitely have a look on our website. There are definitely some jobs there. It won't be a huge amount, but there will definitely be some apprenticeships that are work from home, remote, or even hybrid. The next question is, what kind of support and resource do you offer an apprentice during your apprenticeship? So during your apprenticeship, you will be assigned a digital learning consultant who will support you throughout your whole journey. Every 6 weeks, every 6 to 8 weeks, you will have a review with your consultant. We have an online platform as well, where you're able to put a message in there, an email in there. If you're trying to reach anyone, you're not sure. Those get answered very, very quickly. 24 hours is the turnaround time. So it's pretty quick. All coursework assessments are marked within 24 hours and you know, that's all given back to you for any improvements. So the support is there from our side, and the support you would also get would be from your employer as well. Hope that answers the question, Ben. Freya, can you give examples of the most in-demand tech skills an apprentice will learn through the QA programs? If you could elaborate on that question, Freya, that would be awesome. If you can just write it again in the chat. But what we would want as an employer when we're looking for an apprentice to go into a tech industry would be some sort of work experience, some voluntary work that you may have done, any sports, any clubs that you've done, and anything that you would learn through our apprenticeship programs. You know, every single apprenticeship program that we offer, we also give you access to a website called Code Academy, which is linked to QA. That has hundreds and hundreds of free courses that you can access as well as part of your apprenticeship. So you'll be able to learn extra skills through that. I hope that answers that question. Next question. Can you talk about different career paths someone can take after completing a QA apprenticeship? Well, it really depends, Kate, what you're looking to do. If you want to go into a different industry, 100% you can, depending on your prior experience to this apprenticeship. But remember, you're going to be learning vital experiences here, working in an industry. If you've never worked in an office environment, that's going to give you that. If you've never interacted with anybody outside of school, professional experience, you know, you will gain that from an apprenticeship. If you've completed a degree, I'm just going to literally just throw some subjects in the air, but if you've completed an A-level in, you know, computer science, and then you've gone into doing a software development degree, that would near enough say that you wouldn't be eligible for a software apprenticeship. But you can always go into an IT apprenticeship, which will take you back into the tech industry if you're struggling. But it really depends on what you want to do after your apprenticeship. You know, you might absolutely think now, I might want to change careers, but I'll give it a go anyway. I would always say do it, because you never know, you might actually really, really enjoy it. And if you don't, tech is a wide stream. You can go into any path. You know, if you've completed an IT apprenticeship, you can then jump onto a software development or go into DevOps. And if you've done DevOps or software, you might want to go into digital marketing because you've been doing a little bit of websites and you thought, you know, that whole social media element is something that you really, really enjoy. So I hope that answers that question, Kate. We don't, unfortunately, Alison, we don't provide any work experience opportunities, unfortunately. But the best way around it would be to maybe, and this is what I recommend to all my candidates, is if you go onto yale.com, type in an industry that you want to gain work experience in, type in your postcode and do 5 miles or 10 miles, and you will get loads of companies that will come up. It's definitely worth just ringing around and just asking whether you would provide work experience for a couple of days, because they will be local to you as well. Hope that answers that question, Alison. Next question is, how do I find companies near me that offer work experience? Oh, okay. So that answers that question as well. I've got another question here. If one has already level 6 and they want to do an apprenticeship, are they eligible for that or not? So it really depends on what your level 6 qualification is in and what your degree is in. If it's infrastructure technician or an IT qualification and you want to go into an IT apprenticeship, unfortunately, that most likely wouldn't be possible. But we would, again, check your qualifications. We would check your degree. We would check the modules that you've studied. And if there's no funding overlaps, you would be eligible. But if there is funding overlaps, unfortunately, you would need to go down a different career path to go back into the tech industry. So example in this would be like the example I've just given. If you've gone into software already as a degree and you're not eligible, the only other route would be to maybe go down DevOps or go down the IT route to get back into the tech industry. I hope that answers that question. Jermaine, how long is your junior apprenticeship and what is the maximum age limit? So the apprenticeship for the junior developer level 3 is 15 months, and then you have three months EPA included into that time, and there's no age limit. So there's nothing stopping anybody from applying onto an apprenticeship. Next question, how many level 4 apprenticeships do you offer every year? Wow. That I would need to go back and do my research and my stats, and I'll have to come back to you regarding that number. But we do offer loads of level 4 apprenticeships throughout the year. Like I mentioned previously, there is no one set time. It's literally when an opportunity arises and you get offered the job, you can start immediately. You won't need to wait for, the cohort to get full or the course to get full, or you need more people. It's literally as and when. We've got courses going throughout the whole year, apprenticeships run throughout the whole year, so it doesn't really make a difference. It's literally when you're ready. When you feel you are ready and it's the right time for you, please make an application. Are there any routes for project management? Yes, but is not a very common question, not a very common degree. So we do have a degree. It's just we don't have that many employers at this present moment in time that want to take on project management. But if something, like I say, the website is uploaded all the time, vacancies are on there from morning till evening, until 5:30, it's constantly updated. Best to really check at 5:30 because you've got the whole updated version on our website. But at the moment, I believe we don't have any project management apprenticeships live. If you do a level 3 digital marketing, can you then progress on to the level 6 digital marketing with QA or a different? Yes, the answer is yes. So the level 6 is starting from 4, 5, and 6. So if you've done the level 3, you can certainly jump on with QA. That's 100%. With a different training provider, you would need to check, because they would again need to check the modules that you've completed and making sure that it's intact with what they are offering as a training provider. Next question, I've got experience in IT support. Great. I'm currently undergoing a master's degree. How do I get a part-time job pending the completion of a master's? Okay, unfortunately, we wouldn't offer pending a part-time job. All our apprenticeships are full-time. If you're undertaking a master's, I would need clarification on whether that's with us or not. So there is an email address at the top of the chat, apprenticeships@qa.com. If you can drop a note of your inquiry, we'll be able to investigate and come back to you regarding that. How would you apply for voluntary work? We wouldn't offer voluntary work. You would need to do your own research and find an employer that's happy to take you on as a volunteer. Mohammed, do you have any IT tech apprenticeships like cybersecurity software in East London? And do you get offered a job after completion? So all our jobs are live on our website as we speak. You would need to go onto our website live and check whether we've got any cybersecurity or software engineer roles. We might not have anything at this present moment in time, but that's not to say we won't have one tomorrow or later this afternoon. So it's just worth checking our website. And 98% of our apprenticeship companies that we work with do offer at the end of your apprenticeship a full-time job, but it also depends on you as an individual. How well have you worked there? How well have you, supported that company? How well have you got on with your peers? How well have you completed your apprenticeship? All these things matter. If you're an individual that's started an apprenticeship in a company and you're coming up to completion, but you've had high levels of sickness or your performance hasn't been great, I personally would say you most likely won't be offered a job at the end, but you need to make sure that you work really hard through these apprenticeships. Gather all the support. You've got the support of your peers that you work with. You've got the support of people that are on the same apprenticeship program as you, your line manager, your DLCs. So the support is all there. It just depends on how you perform throughout your apprenticeship. Next question, would I be able to apply even when I have done my T-levels? So wow, so T-levels is a very new thing that's come out. I don't think we have had anybody apply for T-levels as yet, but I believe they are similar or very much the same as A-levels. So personally, I would say yes. You would be able to apply if you've done your T-levels, but again, we would need to check what subjects you've completed and if there's any overlaps regarding funding, as these are all funded apprenticeships. Is there any digital marketing apprenticeships in Leicester area? Yes, we cover we're nationally covered, so we have apprenticeships across the whole of the UK, as well as Scotland, actually, to be fair. So yes, we would definitely have apprenticeships in Leicester, but again, you would need to check. We might not have one as we speak because I haven't got access to the website right now, but there might be one there in the afternoon. What salary would you be expecting with different level apprenticeships? Also, what additional needs support is there? So great, that's a really good question. So salary all really depends on where about in the country you're applying and what level of an apprenticeship you're applying to. Most, and again, you just need to be aware, most public sectors won't pay the best in an apprentice role. If you're going to work in a school and that's the environment you want to be in, again, you would need to just be made aware that the salary is not always great, but the most salary that we could expect as a minimum would be anywhere around the 12 mark. So £12,000 would be the salary, and that would go up. Some employers, and again, some public sector areas are paying brilliant salaries like 33 grand, 25 grand, 22 grand, but it just really depends on company to company. Salaries will vary as well as the level and location. If you're looking in the central areas of London, I can probably say you'll probably see a better salary range. If you are working the way out of London, coming outside of the M25 and going up and down the country, you may see a drop in salary. But again, that's not to say some, smaller businesses are paying a phenomenal amount for an apprentice. And regarding the extra additional support, we have learner services here that will support anyone, regardless of what needs you have, as long as they're disclosed at the earliest stage as part of your application form when you're liaising with a recruiter. We will just need to document it down. If you have a statement of needs, we would request that you send us that statement. But again, we would have all the support available here at QA that will be able to support you throughout the journey. We have a dedicated team that actually supports anybody that needs additional support. Stefan, I have completed a QA software dev bootcamp. Great. I applied for some apprenticeships, but I haven't received anything back. Is there a certification enough to get myself onto an apprenticeship? So if you've got a certification, so great. It might be that you don't match the requirements of what an employer is looking for. So if you've applied for a software level 3 program, depending on where you live, you may have applied for something that is too far away. We would always map the location to where you're based. So if you live too far away from the location that you're applying to, you need to make it clear that you're willing to relocate. But if you do not want to relocate, I would say please make sure you're only applying to opportunities within the hour travel. How much does the apprenticeship cost? I'm a nurse employed full-time. Am I eligible? Well, you wouldn't need to pay anything, Sharon. Apprenticeships are all government funded. You would not pay a penny. Your employer may have a contribution that they would need to pay towards your apprenticeship. And we would just need to check your prior qualifications. So great, you're a nurse and you're employed full-time at the moment, but we would need to check what you've done for your A-levels and what apprenticeship that you're actually looking to do. Wow, loads of questions. I applied for so many apprenticeships on the QA portal, but no one gives me feedback on it or on any answers or feedback. Okay, great. So perfect. If you can just drop an email to the apprenticeship inbox with your inquiry, we can look into your applications further. Again, it might not be because you might not be eligible. You might be applying to vacancies that are literally too far for you to commute to. So therefore, we will not be considering your application. So please drop an email and we will come back to your inquiry in due course. If you have a degree in engineering, okay. Mechanical engineering, it really depends on what area you're looking to go into. We would not consider your degree to go onto a degree. for this program, certainly. If you're looking to do an IT and you've got a mechanical engineering degree, it's a very different field. So most likely you would need to start from a level 3 and work your way up. Do you have any IT tech apprenticeships like cybersecurity? I think I've answered that question already. I have applied for a software developer bootcamp on Sunday. Okay, great. Gemma, if you can just drop a note in the apprenticeships email that we've put on the chat, that will need to go on to the bootcamp team, who will need to investigate and find out when you would hear back. Unfortunately, we will only pick up apprenticeship inquiries on this line at the moment. So you've completed an MSc in cybersecurity. I'm eligible. Wow. Okay, you've done a master's degree already in cybersecurity. You may not be eligible for the cybersecurity route. However, that's not to say you wouldn't be eligible for the other routes. So if you're looking to go into software development, DevOps, digital marketing, something completely different, you would be eligible. But if you want to stay within the cybersecurity field, unfortunately, you've already got the level 7, which is the highest qualification. So then you would just need to do a different route. So I've been looking for an email address, but I can reach you, but I can't find one. Okay, so the email address for anybody that wants to write in an inquiry or wants an update on their application would be apprenticeships with an S at the end at qa.com. We've already put it in the chat. So right at the top, it's pinned already. If you could see, it's apprenticeships at qa.com. Unfortunately, we don't have a WhatsApp number. That's not something that we would offer unless you're liaising with a direct recruiter who's tried to reach you from a WhatsApp phone. What about if you have a foundation degree? Does it still matter about how many? Yes. If you still have a foundation degree, it will still matter on how many GCSEs you have, as that's our prior requisition to get onto the apprenticeships. So we definitely need to know your GCSEs because that's the level as what you're applying to. GCSEs and A-levels is what mostly counts, but we would also need to know what you've done a foundation degree in. If you've done a foundation degree in IT and you want to do an IT apprenticeship, there might be some funding overlaps. So we need to make sure there is no funding overlaps. So we would need to know. How can an applicant stand out whilst having bad A-level grades? And should they still apply if they don't meet the minimum grades? The good news is, guys, if anybody is looking for an apprenticeship and the requirements are A-levels, if it's a degree, we would need UCAS points. So we would use the UCAS points calculator to work out your grades and how many UCAS points you've got. But if you are looking for a apprenticeship, and this is not to say that those that are doing A-levels do bad in your A-levels, that's not what I'm saying. And I would 100% expect every single person that's doing an A-level right now to work really, really hard to get the best grades as you possibly can. But this question is more so for if you've already received your results. If you haven't received the results that you wanted to receive and what you were predicted, please do not stress yourself with this. We always have a workaround. Now, we are able to get you onto an apprenticeship regardless of what the grade is, as long as you have a grade, if that makes sense. So anything from an E up to an A star nowadays is considered a pass grade. So we would still be able to consider your application if it's A-levels. But if you are looking to do a degree with those grades, unfortunately, you would need to start from level 3 and work your way up. And I think this is the final question. Can you send the link to where we can apply for an apprenticeship? Yes, certainly. My colleague is on the chat. She will be able to add our website link. It's literally www.qa.com. That will take you straight to our website and you're able to make applications there. I believe this may be the last final questions of 2. And then I think we are all good. I've got an ABCE in IT and an MSIP. Okay, I want to do an apprenticeship. My GCSEs are old, but I have relevant GCSEs, but no A-levels. Okay, great. We would need to look at those qualifications, Curtis. So thanks for your message. we will need to send them. So if you can send them over to apprenticeships@qa.com, we would need, make sure you don't just send that question, just put a little bit of a debrief in there for us. You might want to also provide us evidence of your certificates and what apprenticeship you're looking to do, so we can basically check your eligibility. Is there any medicine apprenticeships? No, unfortunately, that's not something we offer at QA. However, you will be able to find other apprenticeships in different sectors. If you go onto the National Apprenticeship Service or onto any other job boards like CareerMap, they will be able to see what other training providers are out there offering different apprenticeships. So those are all our Q&A done. And I believe my colleague has already gone through some of those questions. I believe all the questions are answered now.
Amazing. That was so efficient. That was like the most efficient Q&A I've ever witnessed. So hopefully you've all had your questions answered, definitely from the Q&A. I know there were lots in the chat that were being picked up as well. If you have any final like burning questions, put them in the Q&A box so that we can just mark them out. But you have two things I think are going to be really important, which is the email address and also the website, and obviously all the answers to your questions, which you can come back and watch on this presentation if you registered for it. And yeah, I wondered if you just had any final like words of wisdom or final piece of advice that you want to leave the attendees with.
Yes, certainly. So those that are studying your GCSEs and A-levels, work hard, revise, do absolutely your utmost best that you could in your exams. Those that are looking for career changes into a different industry, tech is the way forward. Please do not be afraid to apply. We've got loads of different apprenticeships available. For those that may not have the right skills right this second moment in time, but definitely want to go into a tech industry, please get yourself some work experience. Please get some voluntary work. It will only benefit you. And this would really go with for everybody. If anybody is going into an industry that they don't already previously have any work experience in, definitely reach out to your local businesses in your area, you know, a couple of hours here and there. If you've got a day off at college, I would definitely recommend going and getting work experience for that 1 day a week. If you don't have any work experience at all and you find it very difficult to get an industry recognized experience, then just get a part-time job. It would really support your applications going forward. But the most important thing is work hard for your exams, for GCSEs and A-levels. And when you're ready and you feel that this is the time, please make an application.
That's really helpful. Thank you. And all right, final question that's just come in. This may have already been covered actually, but how long do level 4 courses take?
Yes, so they are around about 18 months. And that's your level 4.
Perfect. Oh, thank you so much. And people asking about the recording, yes, if you registered, you should get an email with the recording, and it should also include the link to the website and also the email address as well. But if you didn't register for the session today, you can check back on the CareerMap website and the link should be up there as well.
One thing I did want to mention, and I am happy to share this on this call as well, we do have a direct telephone number, which is our apprenticeship line. And I will just ping this in the chat now, so everybody has access to this number. If it's not today, not tomorrow, whenever you want to kind of, you know, if you've got a question burning up inside and you really want to answer it and you don't know who to speak to, QA are more than happy to support you and answer the question. So I've just sent that across in the chat now. If you want to make note of that, the number, and go through, it will ask you options of, you know, do you want to become an apprentice? You choose that route. That is the number that will ring directly into the apprenticeship line team, recruitment team. So if there's any questions regarding that, please, you know, feel free to reach out to us.
Amazing, that's so helpful. And can you guys all see that it is in the Q&A section and it's right at the top. It's got like a little star by it. So if you just click on Q&A only, and then you should see it right at the top. Oh, wait.
Oh, what happened?
It went somewhere. Oh, now it's in the chat. So yeah, just grab that number if you need it, and maybe even if you don't need it yet, just grab it anyway, just in case. And once we finish this session in a moment, the room will stay open, so you can, if you haven't got it down yet, don't click away, just keep the page open and it should stay there. But thank you so much. What a really comprehensive and insightful session. So I'm sure everyone really appreciated it, and thank you so much for your time.
Amazing. Thank you very much for having us.